Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're going to be taking a look at some excerpts from episode 2 of Street Dance Girl Fighter Season 2. Very excited about it. I will also say I have officially started reacting to the full episode of this season. I did finish episode 1 earlier last week, and that will stay on Patreon. And kind of how I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to be reacting to whatever performances or challenges I have access to, and what is going to happen is I'm going to watch the episode and refine my feedback, tailoring to the new criteria set forth, as well as anything extra contextually that ends up happening there. So, and if you want to see Street Dance Girl Fighter Season 1 excerpts, I will be uploading those typically around a day after the Season 2 excerpts are filmed and released too. So we're gonna go ahead and let's check some of them out.
I'm young, I'm bold, my flow, I show. I'm young, I'm bold, my flow, I show. I call myself a balanced shut up in the world of genius. I'll wake your brain, cause go radio and build up on time. This mental strength, but it gon' change. I refuse to be a slave.
Yeah.
Just naming hours to my soul. Being such a time and space, and no generation fade. Moving peace, but I'm ease. Claiming peace.
Okay, initial thoughts with this, they will be going to 1 million, 1,000%, for two reasons that we all know. Because I watched the first episode, I know exactly who this group is. It is comprised of some people who were a part of the first season, and I think the leader of Venture was also the youngest member of Amazon, which is Harimu's group, and Harimu's the leader for. And so I already watched the full excerpt prior to this audition, so I'm very much in the know of context with that. They will go to 1 million. I am probably 1,000% sure that they're going to go to 1 million. If they do not go, I will be shooketh because of Harimu and their connection there, which, when you think about it, because we know the criteria of what's about to take place of them picking individuals, that's going to work very well in their favor, especially the leader of Venture, because she has a direct connection to Harimu. Harimu knows that she can work with her and utilize her and make her the leader of this 1 mil team, if you think about it. So I really think that this group's gonna go to 1 mil if they get it in. And which, in my case, because of just the connection alone, I feel like that's a really high chance. Is this the cleanest routine we've seen from the in groups? No. I do think there was a little bit of some range issues we saw with the arms. And also, I think we're treading close to the line of biting for some of these moves or some of these contexts of movement in comparison to 1 mil's mega crew that they use the same song, right? So I think like they really tailored the routine to 1 million because of their Street Woman Fighter set. Also of the affiliation of what we've seen of these members to 1 million as mentors. So honestly, I don't think I want to give a second option. I will be shocked if they go anywhere else. From the top here, this is a really great choice of them to use the eye contacts, and I know that I think it was just cool. It adds a really nice exotic perspective about it, and it makes total sense for the vibe they're going for. I love the stacking with the bodies and then having more of an abstract hand position. It's still they have the lines of the head kind of having a zigzag. Very important they have that. They're really great hair choice, that everybody has the same hair. Really great choice because it helps make this feel more refined, even though we have more abstract hand positions kind of framing it down, making it look like those vine branches that you see on more exotic trees, right? So it kind of feels like this is a subgroup of Amazon is what it's giving. And I'm a fan of it. I do like it. I really think that we just need to refine a little bit of, there's a difference between inspiration and biting. And I think we're treading on that line a little too closely for this audition, but I do know that with these groups, there's a good chance they have to choreograph it, because most of the challenges of Street Dance Girl Fighter are going to be they have to choreograph it, and then the mentors are there to be more as consultants, more so than actual mentors, unless it's like they're having teenage behavior things that we need to grow in as humans, then that's when like mentor comes out, if we're being honest. I love that peel down, doom, 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 then they branch out. Oh, that part where you have your center and then having your layers represented. It's really nice to see having one person and then having everybody else kind of lower in the level. But if you're already noticing here, we have a couple of them have slightly different timing issues with their hands, but we can tell that the hand position is there. I love that boom, boom, branching it out. Really nice. It tailors into the arms that we've already seen, which is super cool. That dip down, boom, boom. That dip was nice. The bleed up was fun. That Tahoe, and then they drop back. I love that. Having this energy of your feature in the front. I love that dip down with going all the way to the floor, then taking them from the mid-level and bringing them up to standing as your feature. I love that young, I'm bold, and then having one of them frame with her arms up versus out really helps establish levels in multiple sections of the song. And that's something that I was saying about no lip particularly, because what's so interesting as a side note, Hip Hop International keeps getting brought up a lot in this show, specifically groups that have competed on that circuit. Like, they do pretty well in that. And so what's nice is that whenever I did the full episode reaction, I was able to dive into why No Lip probably didn't make the podium for HHI. It's because when you think about it, because I've already kind of established, it's not something I talk about often, but as I've already brought it up on YouTube videos, that so when you judge Hip Hop International routines, there's a very specific criteria. In my judge training, my main judge training where I gleaned and I trained the longest in was with Hip Hop International. And so my scope of how I deem something to be effective and efficient in as objective a way as I can is from that format of the criteria that is based on the rules and regulations of HHI. Now, I only glean certain things from that for these types of reactions because these are not HHI routines, because that would be very, very different, and I'm not going, and that's why I don't react to HHI routines on my channel, is for that exact reason, is because of my affiliation, you know. So it's definitely one of those things that if that was No Lip's problem, was the usage of levels. All of that to say, Venture's doing a great job of using levels for multiple parts of their routine. They're carrying it throughout the entire routine. They're not just isolating it. Now, their synchronicity is suffering, which would be more the skill side of criteria with HHI that No Lip would have in lockdown, you know? So that's kind of the thing, is that they are both competitive, but in different ways. So they have presence and essence, but they're kind of teetering a little bit on this, on the individuality and the creativity of that. But I really like some of the small choices. But with No Lip, their synchronicity is really good, just like Just Jerk. The establishment of styles is great. The difficulty of execution is definitely where it needs to be. But their performance in regards to their formations, specifically No Lip, with the levels and the staging, I think really needs more refinement, which is why part of me is still very bittersweet about the fact these groups are disbanding, because seeing the group grow, even those who may not be the best in their group, seeing the groups grow is something that I've really been enjoying about the first season in particular. I digress. Moving on from here, all that to say, really like their level choices, and I'm explaining to you why their levels are, as of right now, are better in justification compared to No Lip. I love that boom for show. I love that mirroring over. That was really fun. Unison world. I love that. Throw in the world really helped me catch that word there. Drop down, slide it in, do-do-do-do, boom, and then we have that middle section right there. Nice little whacking moment, which I really very much enjoy. I also know that one of them, I think it was my leader, right? In this one, she helped with the mega crew for 1 million anyway. so I know that too on top of it. And they throw, even when they build it up, some of them are kind of having a more acute angle in comparison to a right angle. So those are just little baby notes, so we want to clarify. This was really nice, but if you notice one of them, she has more space, and it's not because of her range, it's because of her arm position. So that would just be a little note to keep in mind here. Hitting it down. Honestly, great place. Something about where you put your audition sticker, I think was really great that they chose to put it where they did. It's very central and it feels appropriate to the aesthetic of the track. And I think that's something that we're noticing with a lot of the groups, that they're very intentional with where they're putting their sticker, and all of them are putting their sticker in the same space, which is very helpful to making it look a little bit cleaner in the uniform. I love that, and that drip down with a nice little heel variant there with some of them doing the same thing but looking up a little bit more. Yeah, da-da-da, like that was a really nice moment too. Yeah, that million child, like these hands are one thing where I'm like, we're showing symptoms of something we've already seen from 1 mil. Like really seen with this track, it's very notable. It's one of the most famous routines from the Street Fighter series is that 1 million mega crew. It's very safe to say that. Like they it was rightfully so. It was wonderful. But the more something notable is, the more something is notable, the higher the chance that it will get inspired to spiral into other things. And I feel like we're over inspired here by that. So that'd be my overall note for this group. That child that dipped down, not everybody's hands were in the same kind of the same range. So that's a good example. And it's probably a spacing issue, because if you notice, she's very close to her in comparison, she's much further. So it's a spacing issue as to why this line isn't working, because she's almost down to a parallel. She's more hunched over. She's kind of catering more towards how she's doing it. And then she's making eye contact to her judges. She's having a moment over here. She's looking but not really looking anywhere, and then they're looking down. So it's just little cleanliness things like that can really refine and enhance their set as a whole. Yeah, dun dun flow, like that was a really nice moment there, walking through. That was nice, bonono child. And just with the usage of the hands with the head, I'm always a fan of that. It's really nice to see when you have those little moments of performance and presence, but it's not just walking. You're doing so much more than that with little baby polyrhythmic pockets that you're deciding to dive into while you're just exuding presence. I'd say Jam Republic's a great example of that. As they finish child, feature again, she drops down. She's so powerful. I love her energy. I loved her in season 1, and I still firmly believe that. I really liked her, especially in the audition process, because I'm still in the middle of the first challenge in season 1. I'm on episode 4 at that point. But her energy is just through the roof. I absolutely love it. Yeah, right there. The energy right there is exactly like the ending of the Mega Crew. So that would be another major concern for me, is that they're not exploring actual individuality. They're showing replication or a branch off of a group that they want to be with, is what it looks like. And that was nice. Boom, and then they bleed it through. The energy, it's still very strong. Now this right here, I know it's like do ga ga ga. Like I know that was like a Just Jerk thing that's happened, right? But notice that like when Just Jerk does it compared to everybody else, Just Jerk actually does vibrations, technically correct vibrations. Just a little fun fact about this in particular, when we see this at competition like at HHI, when I see this, that's not technically correct in any style. So that doesn't count towards your difficulty or your musicality score in this, because it's predictable on the type of beat or layer that you're hitting, as well as the technical refinement. It's not correct. So you're not gonna heighten your score at all for your style representation. So that's just a little fun fact for those who like have ever wanted to compete at HHI and you thought this was a really cool, captivating thing. I actually talked to a couple crews from the US whenever I was on the panel. And that was something that I brought to their attention. And that was in our training too. Like we have examples of things that a lot of crews do, but a lot of them don't realize that it only influences one part of your score out of 5 components on one side of your score, because HHI splits it into performance and skill, completely different criterias. So you have, that's why you have like 6 to 8 judges, because you have half of them judging performance only and half judging skill. I was fortunate enough to judge skill, and so this was one of those things that I remember distinctly because it pertains to skill. But it does help their performance score in terms of the audience appeal, but it does not help their score in any other category. So that's just a complete side note that a lot of competitions may not have, but HHI, that is something that has been brought up before, which is why I'm talking about it. From here, whenever you notice, like, it's just little baby things like this, just notice her, just direction of the head goes a long way, because notice her hair is also creating that extra energy that you just have to be really mindful of. Yeah, purple and throw, like this energy is a little different. Like it makes sense why they're all branching off and doing something slightly different. This is different whenever they're doing unison in this aesthetic. That's when it reads differently. Dropping down. Yeah, purple, do. I understand a lot of the angles they're going for, but they just need some refinement. Some of them do look like they're not going 150% near that tail end. That's just my one note. And then they finish with more of that reverb near the tail end. I love that, where it's more in a clump instead of in that unified spine kind of aesthetic. I would say this is a really solid audition. However, here's my note though. There are some auditions that we have seen gone through here where they were not, let's say, I would say like Hexagon is a really close comparison to this group in particular when it comes to abstract or choices that are made. And Hexagon only got 3 votes. They're gonna get in. I don't think they need to get an all-in. I don't think it was clean enough for an all-in, in my personal opinion. But I will say the difference between Hexagon and Venture is Venture's got connections, and Venture's going to pass because of their connections. But they're going to go to 1 million, 100,000% they're going to go to 1 million. And I'll probably refine my feedback to that as I watch the episode and understand more context. People can get upset a lot of times when they're like, oh my gosh, there's a crew that is really, you know, they have... oh, they're connected, you know, like Just Jerk rookies are connected with Bada, right? Because of their affiliation with Young Jay and Just Jerk Academy specifically. And connections, I will say this. You cannot escape connections or needing connections in order to kind of help you or guide you towards a particular path. You can't avoid it. And that's in any industry if you look at it. But in the entertainment industry, it's much more like saturated in connection building. However, to maintain competence within whatever you're pursuing, that is up to your own effort. So it's a mix of like, get to where you want to go, and then staying there is up to you. It's kind of what it stemmed out to be. That's why, you know, I have certain opportunities where I live compared to other people who would move here because of my connections I have where I live, right? Or where I'm, or the organizations I'm with, people view me a particular way, or they're going to assume certain XYZ because of my connections or because of my job scope. It works very similarly to that, right? That's why a lot of you guys tune in and watch my feedback on these things, which I'm very appreciative of because I really enjoy doing these. It's just fun, you know? And the discussions that follow are always wonderful. But I really feel that, I do feel like sometimes I wish that we could just value everyone's opinions or really glean more effectively with others, and they don't have to kind of prove their credentials. But I know for me, I haven't had to like overly present saying, yo, this is what I'm looking at it with this lens, in a way where it's like, people are complaining because of my feedback, and so I have to step in and say, look, this is the scope I'm coming from. I haven't had to do that yet, and I'm very thankful for that, which means that a lot of you guys trust just trust me just as a dance educator from an empathetic lens, because I really empathize with choreographing for a small group. I empathize with kind of collaborating or troubleshooting for events, because it is different depending on what event you're competing for. A regular competition versus a competition that has very strict criteria versus a concept shoot versus a recital versus any of those, they're all different. And so I'm very thankful that a lot of you guys are supporting me regardless if I have a credential stamped to my name. I'm just hey, I'm a dance teacher, I'm a choreographer, I have done professional dance work in my life, and this is what I've gleaned from this. And you guys have been very, very helpful in me providing more insight to stuff like this. So I just wanted to say that too. I'm very appreciative of that. And it makes me want to keep doing these too, because I feel like I'm actually helping people. And that was kind of the whole goal of wanting to start this, is to just help people in ways that I would want to be helped whenever I would watch reactions myself. So okay, KOYAMA, MIYABI. Very clear, very clean and digestible information. Beautiful! That was fun. Short and sweet. Very much enjoyed that. Initial thoughts, I think she's going to go to either Mannequin, La Chica, or 1 mil. Leaning more towards La Chica and Mannequin specifically, because even before she started doing more of the catwalk Vogue posture, like she has a Vogue posture, but like very iconic, fundamental voguing techniques. Before she even started doing that was whenever I was noticing, I think she could vibe very well with those crews respectively, because they know how to enhance and refine that. That's why. So going from the top, and she's an individual, and I don't think those crews have an individual represented quite yet. So from the top here, it's very clean. Power, that brings it, waves it, more in a ticking wave where she kind of staccatos it, going all the way over to the side. Looks, eye contact matters. I will say some of her stability in her rotation, I think, could definitely just be baby refined. Like, she looks stable, but it's the positioning. Like, there's not, she's stable in where she landed, not she wanted to purposefully land there. And there's a slight difference there, but the stability is really helping carry her in this routine specifically. I love the lead throughs with the boom boom with that double bass. Really nice as she hits it out. ISOs, doom 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 doom. Really nice. I really do feel like we could push those ISOs a little bit more and isolate the shoulder so we see it more clearly instead of having so much infiltration of the energy of the shoulders. She drops down and around. Love the energy. Boom, down, around. Great use of her head. I think that's great. Well, just a basic whacking overhead with a twist, then accenting down in the lower half of her body. Really enjoyable. Ding, ding, ding. Hitting the staccato beats in the back with a lot of her movement, and she's holding it down. The music is not overbearing to her as a soloist, and she is not overpowering the music. So there's a sense of cohesion there, which is definitely something that helps people, helps adjudicators or helps individuals look at routines like this more favorably, because we can see her energy. They found a song that was appropriate for her energy, which I think is great. I love that boom. She fully complete that line, at least based on the camera shot I got. I do like that boom, 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 and doo-doo-doo-doo. Love that energy. That was gorgeous. Ding, that's a thumbnail if I ever saw one. That was gorgeous. Bleeding through, sliding through, coming back up. Honestly, I think I would lean Mannequin heavier as her choice. I would hope that she went with Mannequin. La Chica would be a second, and then 1 mil would be my third. And she hits, I love the boom, da da da. The energy there, the build up, hits it down, comes right back up. Her turn, nice little pivot turn. She sets it up. Now we're about to hear the drop, so she has to elevate her energy. She has to convert her energy in some way. I love that the da 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 da. And it's interesting that she didn't hit the bass on that. It could be an audio overlay thing, or it could be she just went da 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 da, and then she comes up so she can actually do the rest of the choreography to match the other parts of the music. So that'd be my suggestion, is I think this would be way more impactful if she hit that bass that just happened right after she did that move. There's that walk that we're talking about. So this right here screams Vogue with a capital V. Love it. If Lady Bounce was on the show and if Vessi was a mentor, they would want to pick her up so fast, just like with Slay. But we can't change the past, guys. But I really love the energy that she has here. Boom, hit, boom, 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 boom. Like, that's just, the energy is so nice. Very full, and she's having this moment, this bleeding moment. Now, this is a side note. I know she's getting in. Reason why I know this is because the Choom only releases clips like this. And luckily I didn't have to do a VPN. I did compare the VPN version versus this version, and these are the only 2 excerpts from the episode that we're seeing. Outside of like freestyle battles, but I'm actually gonna wait to watch those whenever we take a full episode reaction. I'll probably look at them there. But looking at this, the pull and the energy, it's really nice. I just know that she's gonna get in, and so that's why I'm very safe in making my guesses. I love that boom, boom. She hits the head, slides over the shoulder, and then has a nice little energy pop up there. Super fun. You can tell based on her face too. It looks like she received great results as well. But also, I know there is a bit of a hold, like they don't really show whether you're in until they're done, they're walking away, things like that. So that would be my vote for her. I'm gonna go ahead and write her down. I feel like what's funny is I didn't even, because I just watched Venture at this point, and I didn't even need to write down who they were going with. Like, it was, there's like, part of me would be like, let's bet some money on it, but we're not gonna go that far. I'm not a gambler. So we're not gonna do that, but I don't think I've had as much confidence with which crew is who they would go with compared to Venture. But KOYAMA, and then MIYABI, fun. Okay. And I remember I said my first choice was gonna be Mannequin. Second choice was gonna be La Chica. And then third choice is going to be 1 mil. So y'all can let me know in the comments, because this will be released before I watch the episode, but just know I may not respond to you until after I watch the episode and get full context. But that was really fun, very enjoyable. I think it's definitely, I'm looking forward to seeing these battles that are going to be taking place at the conclusion of these crew and team evaluations to get sorted into their houses. Is kind of the best way to take this. But yeah, this is going to be really cool. I am excited for this episode in particular. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I was helpful in some way. If you want to see more street dance girl fighter content, whether it's excerpts or full episodes, I have all of that on Patreon, and I try to get excerpts onto YouTube in correspondence to the week. So like this one, and then of course the following day I will release the season 1 equivalents of the episode. So it is really fun that I get to do that, and I also have a bunch of K-pop and dance content that is on Patreon right now that has not made its way to YouTube yet, and you can go check that out if you would like, or if you just want to hang out and see what I release every day, that's okay too. I appreciate the support, and I appreciate the discussions that naturally follow. I am Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.